Hi traders, this is Cynthia of Day Trade Forex bringing you a short introductory video of my new color-coded MT4 trading system that I've named the Easy Color Trend and Flat. And I'll show you here in a second why I've named it that. It's basically built around one indicator that shows you the flat times where it's a no trade zone, consolidation, range, and basically if the colors are not agreeing and you see a gray flat bar, you just would not initiate a trade. Now I'm showing you a pound CAD 4-hour chart. If you want to make the really big pips in Forex trading, you really need to be trading at least the 4-hour chart. And I think it's the laziest way to trade. You can make the most pips and you only have to check your charts a couple of times a day. And if you see, according to the indicators on this chart, that the trend is slowing down, then you'd check it a little more frequently. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Basically, this is the end of the trading day on a Friday, so right in here, these are all of the basic indicators which are just perfectly suitable for any Forex newbie trader or even an intermediate trader. The only thing it's lacking is any trade management tools, which I am 100% firm believer in, and I don't offer them in my basic system because I'm trying to keep the price low enough for as many traders to get into this as possible. The reason is that I know how hard it is to trade and to learn how to trade and to be profitable when you're a brand new trader. I remember back in 2002 when I discovered the Forex market and I was having so much fun. I thought, oh, this is the easiest way to make money I've ever discovered. And I was so excited about it, so I quickly funded an account with $5,000 and I blew it within the first 2 weeks, mainly because I was trading only in the 15-minute chart and I was trading only one currency pair, and I was very heavily invested in one major trend direction, which was, I believe, if I remember correctly, it was I had 4 open positions in the USD Swiss franc going up. I had 4 open buy positions, and I remember it was a Friday morning and I just sat there in total shock as I watched all of my trades go south and quickly eat up my account. And it happened so fast and I didn't know what was happening and I didn't know why. I know that I had probably bought at the top of a 15-minute chart when it was nearing the top and probably should have been selling at the time, but with the indicators that I had available, I couldn't see if it was the top or not. I also didn't know about non-farm payroll Friday, the first Friday of each month, and I'm pretty sure that's what I ran into. And the US dollar took a dive because of the economic news reports coming out of the United States. And it happened so fast I was literally in shock, and I had terrible reactions to it for many weeks and months after that. So there's a couple of elements to my story that make this trading system so appealing, and I wish I would have had it back then when I was a newbie Forex trader. For one thing, this is color-coded trading, so you can see at a glance what the trend is. And in a 4-hour chart, it's pretty hard to buy at the top and sell at the bottom. I have these indicators that I'll explain to you that keep you from doing that. It's a little easier to buy at the top and sell at the bottom when you're trading in the lower, faster time frames. And so if you need more security and you need to preserve your account and you need to make the bigger gains, you need to switch at least to the H1 or H4 time frames. And let me go through the basic elements of this trading system for you. First of all, we're trading with color boxes, and so the red boxes will be only taking down sell trades, and the blue boxes will only be taking buy trades. I have several indicators that tell you what the perfect entry is and what actually an early exit would be. And let's start here at to the right here because it's a little easier to scroll back in time. But first of all, we have big red and blue arrows that are your actual entry signal arrows that come with the pop-up sound alert. And also there's the SAR dots, the pink SAR dots and the green SAR dots. They also give you an alert, a pop-up alert. And my signal entry that I like so much, that gives you an alert. And when all of these confirm, when you get the big candle, and there's also another little arrow here, you can see it aqua and magenta, that's actually an early reversal arrow, so it can follow the price for a little while, so you never really exit based on that. However, you have to be very sure that usually it happens on a very fast bar that's a fast price spike. So back to this entry, this is a perfect sell entry here, and if your eye just goes down, also in this window you have a red bar. I have an RSI that's at the oversold area, and down in this box is a very interesting indicator. It's a MACD indicator that does not lag. And the black line, when it crosses this silver line, this is a zero line, then that means that the trend has completely changed and it's an entry signal. So this would be a perfect sell entry right here. And here you can see where the trend just sharply changed and it's starting to go up. It matches the RSI, which is a relative strength indicator. And here you have the flat bars. The gray bars are indicating flatness. And this is where the trend becomes very flat. The volatility drops off. By no means is it telling you to exit your trade, because if you were to do that, you'd gain pips, of course, but you might be missing out on the really big move of the trend. So, but you can see down here the MACD is turning up. However, it goes flat here and it goes up a little more and then it kisses the zero line. And if you go up here and look, the RSI has changed colors. You have the gray flat bars again, and up here you've actually got an aqua bar, but you're still in the red boxes. So, and the SAR dots up here are still telling you the trend is down. So you could take partial profit here and possibly even re-enter here, or on the bar where the gray trend bar has turned red. So this would be a nice little second entry on this. You could go down, sell here for another entry where you have the red bar and pink RSI, and here the MACD is turned down below the zero line, so that's telling you that this is a great another sell entry confirmation. And then here the MACD turns flat and starts to go up. So the MACD not only gives you perfect entry signals that have to confirm with, that do confirm with the other indicators in the other windows, but it's also an early warning of a trend change. So anytime you see it go flat and start to reverse and go in the opposite direction, that's definitely a future indicator of a trend change coming. And you have to really pay more attention because it means that steam is running out of the trend, and when it goes flat, it's no fun to be caught in a flat trade. But here you've got some color changes and flat bars, and the RSI has turned color, and the MACD has touched the zero line. So actually that would be a nice little exit here. I'm going to show you how to draw an exit. That would be a nice exit before even you get the reversal alert here and before the SAR dot changes color. So let's see if you had gotten in somewhere in the middle of this bar, if you had noticed it, and not even considering taking a second trade right there, but just that alone, that exit point right in here is 224, 225 pips, 230, 200, you know, somewhere around in that range. And you actually had a second entry here. So This is a really easy trading system to see visually where your entries are, where your exits are. The MACD gives you a future indication of how the trend is changing. And definitely you can not be buying at the top or selling at the bottom. You're going to have really, really good entries, and you're going to be able to stay in the trend longer for those maximum pips. Let's see, now this blue arrow happened, but the SAR dot was not the same color, was not greenish or bluish. So you would have to wait, according to the rules of the system, you would wait for the next bar. And if you were to enter long here and your eye went down, the green SAR dots there, the green trend bars are here, the RSI is green, the MACD is way above the zero line, so this trend is very strong. It doesn't look like it went that far, but if you had entered there and got out when the first bar turned red, that's at least 50 pips. And you can see right here on this red bar, the RSI is turned red and coming down from way overbought. The gray trend bar here is flat. This is all flatness and consolidation. The MACD is coming down. So as long as it's coming down and all the colors have changed and you have the gray flat bars, you can exit for an early exit so that you can take as many pips off the table as possible. So all of these little entries and exits, there's a good exit, 169 pips, 150 pips. Here's an entry and an exit here when everything changes. That's 170 pips. Here, if you gotten in somewhere right around there and maybe got out when the candles changed color, everything changes color, that's 120 pips. So you can see that just by checking your charts just a couple of times a day, or even just once every 4 hours, that's 4 times a day, morning, a couple of times during the day, and at night in the evening, and maybe before you go to bed. And you can manually trail your stops according to the SAR dots here. So every 4 hours, if you checked every 4 hours, you would just move your SAR dot. And eventually, if you did nothing else, if you never took the trade off the table manually, at some point you would get stopped out. So that's okay too. If you're not watching, you're just going to get stopped out. But in every instance, you have perfect signals that are so visually easy to see. And then you have your two volatility windows down here, and the MACD giving you not only entries but early warning of trend change. So basically, those are the indicators. Down here in this bottom window, this is your multi-time frame window that shows you at a glance what each time frame is doing according to trend. You can see here the major trend is down, the H4 is down, the monthly is up, but in the short time frames it's sideways. So normally I always trade according to the trend of the 4-hour chart. So you can see here, and this is reflecting what's happening here at the end of the day. Also, we have some Fibonacci support and resistance lines here. Support 3, 2, and 1. Those make great targets, and resistance can be also your initial stop loss can be at resistance 3. You can't see it here, but here's resistance 2 and resistance 1. So depending on how much risk you want to take and how much you're willing to lose when you enter the trade, that's where you would be putting your initial stop loss, and then, like I said, just come and move it according to the SAR dots once every 4 hours. You can have your target really wide here, put it down at support 3, and at least here you would have had an exit at support 1, and actually right in here with this early exit alert, early reversal arrow here, it actually hit support 2. So you had some really nice, it's just an easy way to manage your trade without any special indicators or trading tools. If you're not ready for trailing stop, trade managers, or anything else, if you're comfortable with placing your order like this, or maybe you still have on your chart up in this top left corner the buy and the sell, which is okay, but then you have to manually place your stop loss and your take profit. I just want to say that I do have an advanced system that I include two trade management tools that make placing your trade very, very simple compared to using the clunky MT4 trade placement and of course your initial stop and take profit. So, and it also, my advanced trading system includes my own trailing stop EA for the trade management after you've placed the trade. So using trade management tools, I believe, are very important. It makes trading systems about as set and forget and easy and painless as possible. So this is a introduction to my easy color trend and flat basic system, and I do have an advanced system. You can watch a video for that further down the web page here, and I hope that you go ahead and pick this up, because if you're a newbie or intermediate trader, this is going to keep you from killing your accounts like I did when I was new. And I can't tell you how many times I funded my account as I was learning. If I had had a system like this that gave me such easy entries and exits and a way to manage my trade, I never would have lost that money, and I would have saved myself such incredible stress. And however, of course, I learned a lot, and I never gave up. That was a really important thing, is I just kept learning. I kept studying. I spent so many hours looking at charts and price action, trying different indicators, trying to see what works. Over the years, I just want my color-coded trading and as visually identifiable for entries and exits as can possibly be, and include the volatility and the trend at a glance. Everything needs to be at a glance. I think the brain needs to keep things simple, and we need to keep our trading simple, and this trading system will do it for you. So I really encourage you. I've kept the price very low, and after you purchase, you'll be able to purchase the advanced system if that's what rings your bells. All the extra trading tools and some of my favorite indicators are offered in the advanced system. So thanks so much for watching, and go ahead and click the buy button down below now, and we'll see you inside of the PDF with all of the training videos. And you can always email me. I provide excellent customer support. I answer emails always within 4 to 12 hours and sometimes sooner. And I'm always happy to help. So thanks again for watching, and good luck in your trading.